Sigma males are the ones who have both alpha and beta qualities. They don't want to just follow what others do, but they don't want to be in charge all the time either. This can make them hard to understand and sometimes even hard to get along with. Even though many people don't understand them, there are some reasons why Sigma males often ignore you. 1. You don't impress them. No matter who you are, Sigma males are not easily impressed. They have high standards and don't give their approval lightly. This can make them seem unapproachable or even judgmental, but they just don't care much what other people think. Some people are easily impressed by money, power, or fake breasts, but Sigma males couldn't care less about these things. They'd much rather be with someone who is real and honest. It's like trying to get water out of a rock when you're trying to impress a Sigma. It's almost impossible. They don't care about things like money or appearances. Because of this, they can sometimes seem uninterested in other people. But Sigmas don't understand why they should try to impress someone they don't even know. Sure, there are times when Sigma men are impressed by someone or something, but usually this is because they have done something they are proud of. For instance, a Sigma might be impressed by someone who has gotten through hard times or done something great. They would much rather admire someone who can inspire them than someone who is trying to impress them. Sigma males are very good at reading people, and they can tell when someone is trying to flatter or manipulate them. Their ability to see through nonsense is very strong, and they can spot a liar a mile away. Some people are easily fooled by sweet words or empty promises, but Sigmas are not so easy to trick. They would rather face the harsh truth than be told a lie. 2. They are recharging. Sigma men need time alone to recharge, so you can often find them in their cave. This makes them seem distant or even cold, but it's just how they work. Some people are social butterflies and need to be around other people all the time. Sigmas, on the other hand, are the exact opposite. They feel suffocated when they're around other people for too long. They get their energy from being alone. Because of this, Sigmas often live in nature or in their own homes. They need time alone to clear their heads and get their energy back. They aren't the kind of people who will be happy in a crowded bar or club. They'd much rather be somewhere quiet where they can think and relax. Some people might think that needing time alone is a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing. This is a great chance for them to think about their lives and decide what they want. This is when they can be most productive and creative. Sigmas usually get things done when everyone else is out having fun. Others may find the word recharge strange, but for Sigma males, it's very important. If they don't have time to themselves, they will feel overwhelmed and stressed out very quickly. When a Sigma is charging, it is not just sitting there doing nothing. This is something they have to do, and it is important for their health. 3. They hate explaining themselves to those who don't get it. Sigmas don't like to explain why they do or decide to do something. They are sure of themselves and what they can do, so they don't need other people's approval. This can sometimes make them seem arrogant or even selfish, but they just don't think like most people do. Others may need constant reassurance, but Sigmas are fine going it alone. They trust their own instincts and don't need the approval of others to make decisions. Others might not understand this self-reliance, but Sigmas know they have nothing to prove. Because of this, they often don't care about what other people think, especially if it's bad. Some people don't understand Sigma men at all a lot of the time. They try to explain themselves, but it's like speaking to a wall. Sometimes it's best and easiest to just leave these people alone. It's a waste of time and effort, not because Sigmas are selfish. Sigma men don't need other people's approval, but that doesn't make them arrogant or rude. They can be very nice and understanding, but they will only do that if it feels right. If someone is always trying to bring them down or being negative, they will just leave. 4. They don't trust you. Sigmas are very cautious and don't trust others easily. They have been hurt before and don't want it to happen again. This can make them seem like they can't be trusted, but they just don't take things at face value. Sigmas are the exact opposite of people who are quick to believe what others say. They won't just believe you, they need to see it for themselves. Often, their skepticism makes it seem like they doubt or question everything. But this is just their way of protecting themselves. They don't want to be taken advantage of or hurt again, so they are not going to let their guard down easily. If they think you're lying, even a little bit, they'll ignore you. Before a Sigma can fully trust someone, they need time to get to know them. They need to see that person in different situations and know they can trust them. Once a Sigma trusts someone, they're in it for the long haul. They won't just leave the first time something bad happens. Once Sigma trusts you, they will be loyal and dependable, and they expect the same in return. They'll have your back no matter what. They might not look like they care, but you can count on them to be there for you when you need them. 5. They are lost in thought. Sigma men think a lot about themselves and can get lost in their own thoughts. This can make them seem unfriendly, but it's just how they do business. They always have something on their minds and are always trying to figure things out. Some people might think this is weird, but it's actually how they solve problems and think of new ideas. They always think about what could be and how things could be better. They always have a lot on their mind and are always looking for links. If you try to talk to a Sigma when they're deep in thought, they might not even hear you. They are so caught up in their own thoughts that they don't pay attention to anything else. Some people may find this annoying, but it has nothing to do with them. It's the way they work. If you're talking to a Sigma and they seem distant, the best thing to do is give them a minute to gather their thoughts. Of course, they don't do this on purpose. It's just how their mind works. They love to think about everything and are always trying to figure things out. Sigma men are not the type of people who can just turn off their brains. Even when they don't want to, they're always thinking. 6. They don't care about your drama. Sigmas hate anything that adds stress or drama to their lives that isn't necessary. They like things to be easy and don't like to deal with problems. This doesn't mean that Sigmas are afraid of conflict, but they would rather solve problems in a calm and logical way. They don't see why they should worry about something that's easy to fix. Because Sigmas like peace and quiet, they often seem uninterested or even rude to others. But they don't want to waste their time on pointless drama and arguments. Some people might like to be in the middle of the action, but Sigmas would rather watch. They would rather watch a situation and think about it before getting involved. This helps them make better decisions and makes them seem less involved in the situation. They don't need to be involved in everything to understand it. This is why they usually don't pay attention to the drama and chaos around them. It just isn't worth their time or effort. Sigmas prefer to be in the background, while alpha males need to be in the spotlight and crave attention. They would rather stay in the background and let others be the stars. This doesn't mean that Sigma males are shy. They just don't feel the need to always be the center of attention. They don't mind staying out of the spotlight and living a low-key life. This can sometimes make them seem like they aren't there, but that's what they want. 7. Too many fake, boring people. Sigma men often find themselves in social situations where they are surrounded by people who don't interest them. Whether they're at a work event or a party, they're often bored out of their minds. This is because Sigmas are very picky about who they spend time with. They only want to be with people who can talk about interesting things. If their minds aren't challenged, they'll get bored quickly. Because of this, Sigma men often like to hang out in small groups or even one-on-one. They don't want to have to make small talk because they want to have a real conversation. Sigmas feel like they don't belong with the rest of the world a lot of the time. That's because they're always looking for something more. They want to find their place in the world and want to find people smarter than them. Most people are happy with being average, which is a problem. They don't want anything more out of life and are content to just go through the motions. Sigma males will never be able to figure this out. They don't find it interesting to do the same thing over and over again. 8. You're too critical despite your own flaws. We are often quick to point out other people's flaws, but can't see our own. This kind of person is everywhere, and we all know at least one. They are the people who are quick to point out your mistakes, but never willing to admit their own. Sigma men can't stand people like this, so they'll quickly stop paying attention to them. These people only want to start fights. They don't want to have productive conversations. We should first look at ourselves and then judge others. It's easy to criticize the person in front of you, but it takes a lot more courage to look at yourself objectively and see your own flaws. Once you can do this, you'll see that everyone has flaws and no one is perfect. All of us are just people trying to do the best we can. 9. You exaggerate stuff too much. Sigmas can't understand why people feel the need to lie or exaggerate. They never stop looking for the truth. They want to know how things really are and aren't satisfied with half-truths or white lies. Because of this, they often have trouble getting along with other people. They don't understand why people don't talk with logic and reason. It just doesn't make sense to them. It's like trying to have a conversation with someone who speaks a different language. Everything the other person says makes no sense, and it just irritates them. Sigma males often feel like they are the only ones who are really living in the real world. Everyone else just lives in their own little world and doesn't use their brains. Sigmas don't waste their time or energy by going overboard. They'd rather just get to the point and stop talking. They don't think it's necessary to beat around the bush or make things harder than they have to be. 10. As a way of being polite. Sigma males sometimes don't talk to you because they don't want to be rude. They may not care about what you have to say, but they don't want to seem rude by cutting you off or interrupting you. They care a lot about being polite, so they would rather ignore you than hurt you. If you want to argue with a Sigma male, you're going to have a very hard time. They know how to keep their tempers under control and rarely lose it. They would rather just ignore you and walk away than argue with you. So, if you want to fight, you won't find one.